saw an interesting post on Reddit regarding GTA 6. It's called the GTA 6 Prison Theory, and it was posted by Sweaty Flounder 3301. You know, sometimes these fucking names are terrible. Sweaty Flounder? Why put the sweaty there? Why not Flounder 3301? I'm not here to critique that. That shit sounds awful. But anyways, he was talking about maybe having the beginning of the game, the beginning of GTA 6 take place in the prison. Now, I know some of you guys might be thinking like, fuck that. I don't want to do that. Right. And a lot of you, I didn't know this, by the way, but a lot of you, for some reason, did not like the prologue to Red Dead Redemption 2, where you were stuck in the snowstorm and you had to go hunt the deer with Charles. You know, it was a little bit of a slow burn, a slow build. And a lot of people didn't like that. And it's come to light, you know, years later where people comment on it like, hey, this sucked. This was awful. I didn't want to do it. It was boring. Honestly, it was great. I recently went back and played that first portion of the game and it went by pretty quickly. I think I got it done in an hour, 2 hours, and I had a lot of fun with it. I mean, it's a slower build and intro into the game, but you learn a lot of new mechanics and you learn what you want to do, hunting, you know, feeding your character, being stealthy, the gunplay. You kind of learn all of that in the intro there. And so this guy, Sweaty Flounder 3301, talked about how maybe you start off in the prison as Lucia at the beginning of GTA 6. You get to learn some of the mechanics of the game, how it's played, some of the things that you might do, because you're doing missions inside of the prison and you're kind of locked out from the open world, so you can't go and explore everything right away, right at the beginning of the game. Now, his theory says, I could see the storyline starting out with a heist robbery as the prelude like GTA 5 and setting up the story moving forward. But after the fact, I could see Rockstar having the game start with Lucia incarcerated and doing missions in the prison for a little while. I think this would bring a level of anticipation for the open world gaming because the gamer won't be able to start exploring right away, and it would build anticipation with cutscenes of her maybe looking out in the world, wishing that she could be on the outside. This will also allow the story to slowly flesh out little pieces of information here and there while learning the mechanics of the game. And so just reading that portion of his theory, it makes kind of sense, and it actually opened up a new idea there that seems kind of interesting. I think of Rockstar, and then sometimes I think of Bully, you know, the game where you play as a kid in a private school or something like that. And there were some cool mechanics to that. You're like in a building and you're going to a science lab, or you're going to the field to do this, but you can't really leave too far from the area that you're in when you're doing a mission, and you're kind of locked in, but you're not. I don't know. I thought about Bully a lot for some reason. I thought that maybe the prison could serve as a Bully type of, you know, open world closed area where you can explore the entirety of the prison maybe, or a section of the prison, but you're doing tasks. Like somebody did something and you got to go get revenge, so maybe you go in there and you kill somebody in the prison, but you got to be sneaky and stealthy so they don't know it's you. Or maybe there's somebody that has something that you need and you need to go steal it, like drugs. Maybe you just got to sneak around and do certain things like that. Got to avoid the warden, got to avoid certain people in the prison because maybe they're ganging up on you. I mean, there's a lot that you could do at the beginning. Now, he makes it seem here that maybe you would be stuck there for a little while. I don't know what that means, maybe like an hour, 2 or 3 hours. I think you don't want to do like an excessive amount in the prison. I think if you stay in the prison for like maybe the first hour of the game, maybe it started off like that, and so like the first hour and a half, you're kind of just wandering the prison, learning some stuff. That could be kind of cool, to be honest. Like, don't spend an excessive amount of time there, but just a little bit to learn the mechanics, and it would give you like an idea of how the prison looks. It might be kind of cool. It would be a slow burn, kind of like the prologue for RDR2, but it might be honestly just very interesting, very fun, because you're gonna get to the open world anyways. You're going to get to explore everything and anything. Building up to it might be something cool. He goes on to say here in his theory that after you finish the introductions in the prison, you'll move over to Jason and play and be allowed the open world mechanics and stuff like that. And his line of thinking is because he states that if we're gonna have two main characters, we'll need to set up each character individually before bringing them together. Personally, I think this would be a great way to start the game. And to a degree, I agree. It could be really interesting, very cool, and different, right? I remember when you play GTA 3, you're kind of stuck on that little map area island. You can't really leave it because, you know, after you escape the prison, they kind of close all the bridges, so you can't really just fully go out and explore everything. In RDR2, when you're in the prologue, you can't just leave the top of the mountain and go explore everything. So kind of the same thing would apply, I think, to GTA 6. I don't think they're gonna just leave you in one area and then just be able to explore everything right off the bat. I think you're gonna gradually be able to open up other areas of the map and slowly get to them, right? I think that's gonna be kind of their play, and I think starting off with the prison could be really interesting. It would would allow us to get to know Lucia, maybe allow us to know why she's in there, and then teach us some of the mechanics of the game. It would be something very cool and very different. I'm not sure how you guys feel. I wanted to bring this out to you guys because it could be a possibility. If it is, do you like it? Or do you think that would be a terrible idea?